Welcome back to Factory Sealed, everybody. It is December 11th, 2013. My name is Eric Peterson, and gracing me with his majestic, more British than French presence... Actually, I could use that for both of you, is Kevin Byer and Jess Clarkson.
I would say... Definitely. Well, I don't know. I would definitely at least glad that I'm not American.
Why? Why?
Because Americans are evil.
On what grounds?
All of the grounds.
You don't have Tinder
I have
eggs.
proof of Americans being evil that I will share with you later in the show.
Oh, does this have to do with Mother 3?
This has nothing to do with Mother 3.
So why does it have to wait until the segment where we talk about games?
Basically, yeah.
That was not a yes or a no question.
It really wasn't. Sorry.
I
have to agree with the American on this.
It was a yes or no question.
No,
yes,
it wasn't.
we have to wait until the part where we talk about the games, and I said yeah.
No, I
I
said
think you said,
so.
why do we have to?
Yeah.
Oh, why do we have to?
Yeah.
None of your damn business.
Oh. Okay. So it has something to do with a game then.
In Mother 3 that Americans are worse.
Okay,
than
so I
everyone else.
just asked you if it had anything to do with Mother 3, and you said no, and now you just said that there's proof in Mother 3. God, I'm glad I'm not Canadian.
They're
I
worse
hate
than
you
the...
so much, Eric.
Do you guys even know what you're saying half the time?
We could really ask the same about America.
Are you French? Are you British? Are you American? Are you Canadian? What are you?
Those are the same questions that you should be asking yourself, American.
We are a melting pot.
So you can't even define what you are.
Nope, we are basically like goulash.
Did you get taught, apparently... People say that instead of a melting pot, it's like a salad where you have like a tossed salad full of like yummy deliciousness.
Well, that's the politically correct terminology for it now. When I was in school, it was a melting pot because the way I understood it was that, hey, you are American. Let's create our own American culture instead of let's bring everybody else in and celebrate everybody else's culture. So now we're just, instead of being America, we are a land where thousands of other cultures come, and we have to basically recognize and celebrate all of their cultures. Which, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that our priorities have shifted.
So we get excited about celebrating other cultures.
I'm not saying I'm not. It's just that the mindset has shifted, because when I was
Whatever,
in school,
American.
it was... We're American.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. We wear
Isn't that what it still
clothes
is?
made out of flags. Actually, that's illegal.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore because everywhere you go, if you wear an American flag, you just get ripped off or murdered or kidnapped or...
Or laughed at.
It's
Or
like the
laughed
movie
at, yeah.
Dick.
I mean, most people will just laugh at you, but some of them will do the other things.
No, I mean, like, legitimately, you cannot take an American flag and repurpose it as clothing. You can wear
But they
clothing...
did it in the movie.
Hey, Jess, I don't know if your parents ever had this talk with you, but movies aren't real.
Dick was totally based on the true story.
Dick? I think... What kind of movies are you watching?
The only thing I know about the Watergate scandal. With Kristen Dunst and Michelle.
Kirsten
You
Dunst?
watched a movie about Watergate with Kristen Dunst in it?
Yeah.
It's the best movie ever. You need to watch it.
The best movie about Watergate is Forrest Gump.
False statement.
A couple of guys over there with
should
flashlight.
not have Googled Dick. Actually, funnily enough, it's the first hit if you Google Dick.
No.
It is. Google Dick.
What did I Google last show that came up with a ton of inappropriate stuff?
Not in image search, though. Image search, it's definitely penis.
You're going to want to go ahead and clear your browser history before Andrew gets back from Las Vegas.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, shit.
Minus hookers and blow.
Well, yeah, you don't bring that stuff back from Vegas.
True.
That'd be a terrible idea. So what's new, guys and girl? Aaron's not here. I should probably mention that.
He's saving the world.
No, he's actually just not feeling well. He pussied out.
He's just like, no, I don't want to do the show.
Yeah.
But he had such an awesome radio voice when he was sick.
That was not him. That was Nancy.
Pretty sure it was him. I'm pretty sure there was no special guest.
He's just really good at double playing.
That's right.
No, he said, sorry, y'all, I'm going to be out for tonight, not feeling well. That's how I hear Aaron in my mind.
Tan.
That was pretty good. That was a pretty good Aaron.
Mm-hmm. Got to really get that drawl in there. Do I want to click on this link, Jess?
Yes, you do.
It's Wikipedia. There can't be penises.
Says you.
Wait, I was thinking, as you were talking about this, I'm thinking serious documentary style, like J. Edgar or movie like that. Not Chloe and what the hell is that movie with Phoebe from Friends?
Remy and Michelle's high school reunion.
Yeah, this is like that, except with Richard Nixon and one of the most notorious scandals.
They're totally serious in this picture.
Yes, because that guy's haircut is totally serious. He looks like Biff from Back to the Future.
He does. But it's such a good movie.
I'm pretty sure that the Rotten Tomatoes rating on that is hovering right around 0.
If I was a history teacher, I would show this in class.
But you would not want to type it into the search engine in class.
No.
Okay. Wow.
Well, unless your computer is facing away from the students.
I suppose.
Then you can look at whatever the hell you want.
Except I get messages about what the happenings is.
Did I tell you about the time that my friend for April Fool's Day decided that he was going to change the desktop of my computer to, I can't remember who it was, but it was some girl in a bikini, maybe Olivia Wilde, and didn't pay attention, just plugged my computer into the overhead, turned it on, and my students were like, Miss. Oh, embarrassing.
Do they call you Miss Clarkson?
No, they call me, I tell them to call me Jessica, but for the majority of the time, they just say Miss. Miss.
When I first got to college, I was under the impression that you call all of your teachers professors.
Oh.
And then I realized that it is actually a very, very select few that earn that title. And then you get the dickheads who insist on you calling them doctor.
Yeah.
You are teaching a Victorian poetry class. I am not calling you doctor.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So, I'm sure you Jess, you asked me about this, but not over the weekend. Shit, what day is it? That day off yesterday threw me off. On Monday, my mom's house got broken into.
So scary.
Yeah. It's where I lived with her when Christy and I moved down and lived with her for a couple years just till we got on our feet and found some stable jobs. But it's a safe neighborhood, but I guess there's always that threat. But what's kind of irritating is that the neighbors who live next door, I always didn't really care too much for them because they have just a wild pack of chihuahuas barking all over the place. But
a wild pack of chihuahuas.
Oh yeah, there's it seems like there's 200, but there's maybe 3. But you know how chihuahuas can seem greater in number than they really are. But they're always pretty good about making sure that my mom doesn't accidentally leave her garage door open or that it's just nothing's amiss. And on Monday at about 1:00, they took off and they just noticed everything's fine. Garage door's down, front door's closed. They came
in the afternoon.
Yeah, 1:00 in the afternoon. So my mom's clearly gone at work. And they came back around 2:00 and noticed that the front door was open. And this is kind of strange. So they walked over and they saw that the door had been kicked in, like it was physically kicked in. The door frame was shattered, and they didn't go inside. They didn't know if anybody was still in there. So they went back and they called the police. And this was at about 2:15. My mom didn't get a call from the police for 4 hours saying that your house has just been broken into.
So wait, the neighbors called the police, and then they didn't call your mom.
Well, my neighbors didn't have my mom's phone number, so that's going to be something
I would have expected that, like, oh, I call the police are going to call the person whose house was broken into.
Yeah.
Well, that seems to be a little bit more difficult. I mean, the police don't just have your phone number.
No, but you would think that they would show up, because, Kev, you said that I'm lucky they responded at all, but down here in Phoenix, home invasion typically is coupled with assault or murder. Typically, it's it's just a common thing down here. Every day, you pretty much see news stories of people being killed. It's just kind of the state of the news down here. So I was already home, and my mom gave me a call, and she was still down at school, and she actually lives about 3 miles from home, and I live about 15, 20 minutes from where my mom is, and she called me, and I beat her to her house. I mean, I was just absolutely hauling anus to her place. And
that is definitely an expression that is not used enough.
No.
Hauling anus.
Well, it's for a drive that usually takes 20 minutes. I made it in 9.
Because you were hauling anus.
Yeah, there was no
not
anus.
Ass.
There was no anus left to be hauled because I hauled all of it.
Anus, okay.
Yeah.
Just checking.
So, I got there, and the main thing that I was worried about is that she's got a couple cats, and one of them is my sister's cat that my mom is taking care of for the time that she's in PT school, just finishing up. And we've had this cat since I was in high school, so she's kind of been around. And
is that the Meowie Meowers?
No, that's the asshole cat that lives with me. That's Bubsy. But we got to the house, and the cops were in there, and thankfully the cats were there. But I was talking to the cops, and these guys apparently this is a trend that's happening, not in this particular neighborhood, but further down towards where I work, is that these teenagers will play Ding Dong Dash, but instead of dashing, they will wait until nobody answers and then break the door in and steal everything.
Wow.
So
it's actually pretty smart thinking if you think about it.
Well, and they do it in broad daylight too, so who's really home during the day? I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that, because considering the area, there's probably quite a few people home because there's a lot of stay-at-home parents. But yeah, they went in, and they've clearly done this before, because they didn't touch the kitchen, they didn't touch the living room. They kind of poked their heads in the 2 bedrooms. You could tell they flipped the mattresses and didn't see anything, and then they went into the master bedroom, and that's just where they destroyed everything. They flipped my mom's bed, stole all of our guns, stole her Kindle Fire, and then went into the bathroom.
How many guns did you have? Let's talk about guns, American.
Well, we just had...
Was that 6?
No, I'm
6
pretty
guns?
sure it was only 3. I'm pretty sure it was only 3. It was at the very least...
You have enough guns for a gun rack.
Well, one of them was my World War II sniper rifle that I had. And then another one was a shotgun that I used to use when I was younger, and I did trap shooting contests. That one got stolen, and then I had my youth shotgun, which I'm pretty sure was there, that got stolen as well. But then they went into the bathroom, and they just tore everything apart and started destroying a bunch of stuff, and got all my mom's really nice jewelry. I mean, none of it was really expensive, but it was just like family heirloom stuff, like my great-great-grandparents' jewelry and just shit like that.
That's annoying.
And the thing that pissed me off the most is that my mom, for some reason, had an old Civil War optometry kit that belonged to my great-great-great-grandfather, and that was dumped out all over the floor and crushed all over the place. And just, they went into the bedroom or the closet and tore everything down looking for stuff. And, in the grand scheme of things, they didn't steal a lot, but it's just that
the violation.
Yeah. That's what kind of sucks. But I spent the night there with her. We had to go to Home Depot and get a huge board because we couldn't close the door, and no place was open. No place other than Home Depot was open, so we just went and got huge boards and nailed them medieval style across the door. And Took the day
Yeah,
off
I
the
saw
next
that
day.
picture you tweeted out. That was pretty sweet.
Well, that's the only way I could think of to fix it. It's like, let's just get a huge-ass board and lag bolt it into the studs. I mean, nobody's going to kick that thing in. So ended up having to take the day off yesterday and fix the entire door frame. They kicked that thing in so hard that they bent the door frame and put a huge hole in the wall behind the door. And it's just...
That is one thing I want to do, though, in my life, is kick down a door.
Well, I watch a lot of Mythbusters, and they did an episode to see how hard it is to kick that in. And it's not easy to kick in. I mean, we had it deadbolted, we had it locked. They tore through that, tore the frame off, tore the trim off, and tore the drywall off. That's how hard they kicked it.
I really want to do that.
Maybe they had like a little police-style battering ram.
No, there was one...
Oh my god, that would be way cooler!
There was one boot print directly under the door handle. So, I mean, the guy did it in one kick.
That's, like, what a dick, but that's pretty fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, go do it as like a circus sideshow thing. Don't do it on my door. But the thing that blows my mind is that for that year and a half when we were, doing Voldemort Towers and all of that stuff, where I was working from home pretty much full time doing web development and writing, I can't even begin to tell you how many times the doorbell rang and I never answered the door. So it could have been any one of those times. But what blows me away even more is in Arizona, we have probably, aside from Florida, the most liberal castle doctrine in the country. And why somebody, knowing that castle doctrine exists, would still willingly break into somebody's house, I don't get it.
Yeah, because you can kill
know.
people.
What's that?
I said maybe they didn't know.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. Do you really want to take that risk? Like, what is possibly in somebody's house that would be worth dying for?
See, in Canada, if, like, you have to make sure your house is safe just in case anyone wants to rob you.
Yeah.
You have to apologize to the robber if they break in and get hurt at your house. It's like a really, really big deal.
Are you serious?
No.
Because there are some states where if somebody breaks into your house, and there have been lawsuits about this, where somebody's broken into the house and gotten hurt, like they fell through the skylight onto your cutting board and slashed open their leg, and the robber has then sued the person and won.
I don't think that would happen up here.
So basically,
I'm pretty sure I've heard in the news that it has happened before, but not recently.
The wording for the castle doctrine here basically states that you have a right to defend your property. It kind of goes back to that old British adage of a man's home is his castle. And other states...
British? Because you guys are British?
Pretty much, yeah. Other states, it says that you have to try to reasonably retreat. Whereas here in Arizona, it says your car, your house, or your personal space, you have a right to defend without needing to retreat. So if somebody's in there and they are not welcome and you feel threatened, you have the right to use deadly force, and you are completely immune from any sort of legal ramifications thereof. So if you, let's say the person's attacking you and you shoot them and paralyze them, they can't come back and sue you.
That's terrifying.
So why would you break into somebody's house?
That much power, though. Like, that's so bad.
But think about it, though. I mean, had I been home, I have guns and ammunition in the house fully within reach of wherever I would have been. Why would you go into somebody's house knowing that there is that possibility? For a $150 Kindle, 2 guns, and $5,000 in jewelry that you're going to get maybe $600 for.
Well, they took the jewelry or the guns, so you couldn't shoot them.
But had I been home,
then you would have answered the door, and they wouldn't have robbed you.
Or they would have saw me and then killed me.
There you go. Maybe they were prepared to kill you over the $5,000 in jewelry and 2 guns and a Kindle.
I feel like this is taking a very morbid twist.
It is. It is. What it ultimately boils down to is that it's just it's sick what people have come to accept as being okay, and you see it in youth. I mean, just listen to kids in school like, oh, that's so fucking cool. And it's like, are you serious, people? Like, why do you want to be a part of that lifestyle? I don't get it. You know, maybe it's because I'm old fuddy-duddy, but I don't get it.
Well then, Mr. Fuddy-Duddy, what else did everyone do this week? Because I did absolutely nothing except had my computer blow up on me multiple times.
Maybe you should become more tech-savvy.
Yeah.
My solution to the problem was my computer just decided to restart over and over and over. Like, it would be on for like 2 minutes, and then it would just restart.
Okay.
All the time. So I checked my drivers, tried to update my drivers.
Okay.
Those are all up to date. And then I'm like, all right, well, I'll update my antivirus because maybe I got like 200 viruses. And that's all up to date. So now I'm screwed. Now I have no idea what to do.
Why don't
Maybe you should get a Mac.
Or you could do the more intelligent thing and just do a system restore to a point before it did that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that my computer has been screwed for a very long time.
So just do a factory reset.
Stop Googling
yeah, that
dicks.
sounds really complicated, Eric.
It's not.
Sounds pretty complicated.
It really isn't.
You press...
Okay, well, one of you come over here, do it for me, and I'll take you out to dinner.
Fly me on up.
That's the
No,
best
you
date
fly
ever.
here. But I will take you out to dinner after.
I'll come up next summer and I'll bring the kid.
All right.
That is so weird.
What?
I'll
that
bring
Eric
the kid.
would come up and bring his kid, or that he would bring his 2-month-old kid on an airplane.
That it's like he'll have a child at that point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be
So weird.
something else. Those Mega Man hats that you're making are looking pretty slick.
Well, I just fucked up. I made the light blue circle-y thingy too big, so I'm starting that part over again.
How long did that little hat take that you sent me? How long did that take to make that portion?
Maybe 2 hours?
Oh, wow.
Probably an hour? I don't know.
Is this just a skill that you have taught yourself?
Through YouTube.
Wow.
Like, I taught myself how to crochet on YouTube, and then the Mega Man hat I just made up because I wanted to do it.
Okay.
And then when I did the Skyrim hat, I made it out of like a tube. Like, I looked at patterns for
What's Skyrim hat?
Haven't I shown you the Skyrim hat?
No, and who has it?
I made one for my cousin, and then I made one for my sister-in-law's ex-boyfriend.
Oh, jerk.
I have it on my phone.
Was he the ex-boyfriend at the time?
No, he was a boyfriend.
Did you ask for it back when he cut ties?
No, we hang out with him all the time still.
That's super weird.
His new girlfriend is really nice. I like her. We both enjoy Little Mermaid and Doctor Who, so we're like best friends as well.
Did you see that Little Mermaid Doctor Who mashup picture that was floating around the internet a couple days ago?
No.
It was like the Little Mermaid swimming up to a TARDIS underwater.
No, but I've seen the one where it's like, I named my daughter Melody before it was cool.
Is that supposed to be funny?
Yes.
It's not.
I'm going to tweet the picture that he sent me and pretend that I have his permission already.
You don't need permission to repost pictures online.
Yeah, they send you the picture, so now it's your picture, so you do with it what you want.
Okay, well, at least I'll tag him in it.
Apparently that's what everybody who came in contact with Anthony Weiner's pictures thought. You guys don't know who that is, do you?
I have no idea.
Was he the one
what
that posted dick pics?
Yes.
And he's like a politician?
Yes. He's like...
And his name is Wiener. Yes.
That's so funny.
So funny. And then I did a Batman hat for Cam actually as well, where I did little ears, but it wasn't a full cowl.
Who did you do that for?
Cam, the sister-in-law's ex-boyfriend.
Oh. Let's see. Oh, there it is. It's pretty slick. I like it. Not as cool as the Mega Man hat, but
we're getting there.
I have convinced Christy. I fully convinced her that will be the hat that we hand the nurse in the hospital, and that's what it gets put on in the nursery. That's how I know it's going to be my kid.
Pressure's on.
Yeah. You better find a newborn and try that hat on them to make sure it fits. Like, just go down to the newborn nursery and be like, I'm doing research. Need a head.
Well, I looked up, like, the actual hat pattern is for a newborn.
Okay.
So it should fit the child. Should be good.
Should be.
For a newborn hat.
All right.
So your kid will be pretty badass.
I'm hoping.
And you can always name the child Jessica, or that can be a good middle name. I'll allow you to name your child after me because I'm so awesome.
I was hoping I could still take Bethesda up on their offer of Dovahkiin and get some free Bethesda games for life.
Yeah, those parents were pretty smart.
No, they were super stupid.
I would have done it.
I know you would have. And then Andrew would have served you with divorce papers the next day.
And your kid would have hated you forever.
I'm sure.
Well, you changed the name after.
I'm sure that they have something in the contract where you have to keep that name for X amount of time.
Probably.
You just name the kid by their middle name. Like, that's what you'd call the kid.
Until you have to go and apply for some sort of position that requires your full name, or you go and get your driver's license.
No, it'll probably be until he's 18 or something. And then he can legally change his name.
It's so dumb.
Free games for life.
Not free games, free Bethesda games, which are notoriously some of the buggiest games ever.
Yeah, but with that name would come years of patience. That kid is going to be the most patient motherfucker ever.
Either that or he alone is going to be filled with a ton of bugs.
Ew.
Not like actual bugs.
I was going with crabs.
What?
Scabies?
I was actually kind of thinking it was crabs that you were talking about.
How would your kid contract crabs at that age?
I don't want to know.
Gross, Jess.
This is why I have kittens.
Do your kittens have crabs?
No.
Okay, that's good.
They don't have fleas either.
I don't think I've ever given my cats a flea shot. I should probably do that.
Do they go outside?
They sleep in the dumpster.
Pardon?
They like it.
Yeah.
Your kittens do not sleep in the dumpster.
No, they don't. They sleep on the bed.
Oh, man.
Which could be likened to a dumpster, but...
Not even going to touch that.
I know you're not.
Not even going to go there.
So, what did you guys play this week? Did you play anything that's not Mother 3?
We played that game that we all played that we said we were going to talk about this week.
That little game's called Age of Empires 2.
And I'm a badass at it.
If you were to separate bad and ass, then yeah.
We had the dream team happening. I was a part of 2 dream teams.
Jess, you were the agriculturist who sat back and did nothing but protest war.
Pretty sure I was a pacifist for the second round, but the first round I was rocking it and things were just happening.
Do you know?
Oh yeah, the one where Jess and I accidentally picked the same color, so we were controlling the same unit.
The thing that blows my mind about that is that it took us a solid 10 minutes to figure that out.
Oh yeah, at least 10
minutes.
But I thought it was happening, and it said Jess, and I was making them do things, so I was like, oh, I guess, I had never played Age of Empires 2, so, I was like, I guess they really made improvements from the first one. They just do their own thing.
This game's so intuitive, it just does it on its own.
Seriously.
Meanwhile, we're just getting face rolled over there. Now, then we got into the second round. Did we do a round of just us three before we decided to start pulling in viewers?
Yes, and I came in second to that because you died.
Yeah, I died because Kev decided to come and drop a castle right outside my town hall.
He had a castle.
So that was
I
the
beat
third game.
castle.
That was the third game. The second game was when Douchey McDoucherson came in.
You're right, it was LB10.
Oh, I love him. Best friends for life.
I thought I was still in the Dark Age, and this guy's pounding my face in with war elephants.
As soon as I saw that he actually had a rating in the game, I'm like, okay, we lose.
And we made. I didn't even see that until after it started, and we'd put Jess on the same team as this guy.
That's where I was
So,
past.
talk about an artificially inflated ego. Holy cow. Because I think by that point...
I'm with Jess. That was pretty much all her that game.
Which was.
I think by the end of that, she had 4 villagers and 2
It was
farms.
The first one. Wait, no, we played one where all of my villagers just died. I think that was the very first. I don't know.
We've
They
played a
got small.
lot of Age of Empires.
Yeah.
Like after we stopped playing with you, Kev and I decided to do a couple rounds, and we had to build our confidence by just doing an easy round and then just crushing everybody with that. And then we decided,
because I just destroyed you guys.
yeah, absolutely. So then
We played Eric and I on a team against one computer guy.
Nice.
And that was like super easy.
but we had him on medium, so we just let's see if we can handle medium,
And we could.
and we quite handily.
So after we did 2-on-2 with 2 of the moderate difficulty computers, and that game took so long.
Holy cow, it was intense. I mean, we were probably still going about an hour and a half later, and the only reason we won is because I got to the point where I decided to start just randomly building crap, and I built a wonder, which takes probably a third of the game to build, and it just suddenly finished. And then it's like, all right, 10 seconds till game over. But
Nice.
the whole lead up to that was insane. 'Cause it's like, all right, Kev's on one side of the map, I'm on the other side, and we're doing our thing, and we see the occasional scout come in, and then we start running out of resources. I think, did you have that map on standard resources or low?
Yeah, I think it was just standard.
Because we did not last very long in the appropriate resource department.
To be fair, in game time, that game was, I think, 2 hours and 10 minutes. But we were on a faster difficulty or faster speed setting, so obviously we didn't play that long. But
Yeah.
still, 2 hours, 2 hours in any RTS game, you're gonna run out of resources everywhere.
Well, and I think with our mistake with that is that we didn't patrol much beyond our initial base very much, because Yellow started encroaching on me, and they built that stupid shipyard in a puddle. It was literally in a puddle about 4 squares around. And then he built that shipping dock there, and then he just filled it with galleons. I mean, 15, 20 galleon ships that are shooting flaming fireballs, and you couldn't touch it. You absolutely could not touch it from any angle. So we just decided to throw all of my war camels at the wall and all of our trebuchets, and he destroyed all that. So then we had to rebuild all that crap and ran out of resources. So we had to start selling trees, and by cutting down trees, we broke holes in our defenses, and it just was an absolute shit show for the last 25, 30 minutes of the game.
But we finally won.
We did.
Through default.
Silver lining.
I don't think I've fully discovered the best tactic for that game yet. There definitely is something to be said about just spamming your villagers just to get them out there, but I think by doing that, you also miss out on army building time.
How many villagers did you have in that one game?
110.
And I had 4.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. You were insane.
I just remember dying, and I had full camera control, and I was just hovering over Kev's base, and it was just no military people, just nothing but hundreds and hundreds of villagers chopping trees. Like, they all had a purpose.
All my military people were attacking Jess.
Shut up. They totally were. I had you for a little bit. My spearmen were totally...
Yeah, that's right. They were... You did have a couple spearmen that scared me, and then I realized I had like 40 guys, so it was okay.
And they took out your scout.
And I took out a castle.
That's right, you did.
Wasn't that the one where was that Kev's castle or the other guy's castle where you just kind of left a couple guys on it and nobody really thought anything of it till it fell down?
Yeah, that happens to me in pretty much every game.
I still struggle with the whole concept of making sure that when your villagers are done building things, they're not trapped. Because I'll build my houses to wrap around a forest, and then I'll hit the comma key to see if I have any idle characters, and it's like 5 or 6 villagers just tucked away back there, and they can't do a damn thing. It's like, all right, chop down some trees, maybe that'll do something. And then they chop down a tree, and then they're just standing there with wood. It's like there's nothing you can do short of bulldozing down a house and killing them.
They really need to start thinking for themselves, though.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times they're just slacking.
Well, what I discovered with the farms is that they'll run out and then you have to manually recreate them. But if you go to the mill, you can stockpile farms. So at any given point, I'd have 15, 20 farms just in the queue so that when they ran out, they would just auto-repopulate.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I just wanted to smack them for being just ridiculous.
But yeah, when they run out of gold or stone, they just sit there like, oh, well, guess you got the day off. Yeah. But in that last game that we played, we were cutting down so many forests around our base that every wall that I had built between forests had pretty much just become an obstacle that I now had to walk around because it was in the way. And I chopped down this huge forest behind my base, and I had probably 60 or 70 people sitting there. And I saw Kev working his way in from the west towards my forest. Like, no thanks. I'm going to build a bunch of lumber camps around this. And all of my little workers descended on this forest and just disappeared.
Yeah, I ran out of so many resources in the game. I was building gold miners in the enemy's base, sending workers into it, and I would die, but like maybe 1 gold apiece.
Hold on, you just got real crackly there for a second.
It was a little crazy.
Are you still there, Kev? Oh, he's typing something.
We have a really high-tech podcast.
We do. Well, it is what it is.
We work with what we got.
And we got with what we work?
I don't think that's a thing.
No? Maybe he needs to restart his computer.
No, it's good now. It's good.
Cool. All right. No, what were you saying now? Because it got all robotic.
Oh, I have no idea. What did I say?
Something about
what were we talking about?
Something about building stuff and games.
You've never seen a better player.
I was building gold mines in the enemy base and then just throwing like 20 workers at it in hopes that they would come away with maybe 1 gold apiece.
That's actually a pretty smart tactic. Well, I was so amazed because we were running out of resources, and I feel like based on the score, we had at least double the economy that Yellow and the other team had. So it's like,
but they never ran out of money. They just kept shooting units at us.
I have no idea how he was able to keep just pouring galleons into that pond.
They must cheat. Like, that's the only thing that makes any sense. Is they just get extra resources because they're the computer.
But we did start to find a way towards the end that it didn't work the best, but it actually worked in our favor because the only resources we had available to us were wood, and there was the skirmisher that you could build that would only cost, what was it, gold and wood or just wood?
I think it was wood and food, so it was like the one thing that we had. Like, I at one point had over, I think, 25,000 wood and 25,000 food. Yeah,
and you can only sell so much of it because you have to sit there and click. It's like every 100 wood gets you 20 gold, and it's just stupid the amount of clicking you have to do for that. But then you just send your busy worker bees to the next forest and just kill it all.
Yeah, and then put up some farms.
I was actually kind of pissed off that we won by the wonder, because I wanted to see truly how long we could last.
I think we eventually would have pushed through because we were pretty bad at coordinating our attacks for most of the time. It would be like Eric would have a big army and I would have a big army, and I would throw my big army at yellow and Eric would throw his big army at blue. And then both of our armies would be dead and we'd be like, well, I guess it's time to rebuild.
Or we broke through to that fishing dock and destroyed it, and then we never followed through to make sure that they didn't come back and rebuild it. It was the most frustrating thing. It's like, all right, finally, we got all the galleons destroyed, that shipping yard is destroyed, and fuck, it's rebuilt. It's like you could see the outline of it, but you just couldn't pack up your trebuchets and move the 3 squares closer to hit them. It's just
because he had that wall there, man. That computer was too smart for us.
And then they'd come back and they'd rebuild the wall, and then they would throw those petards out there, and it just got to be a hot mess.
I never knew about the sheep.
Oh, the best scouts in the game.
I am amazed with how well that worked.
But the tactic that we discovered actually requires not sacrificing your sheep for scouts. You have to actually sacrifice them for food.
But they don't get sacrificed for scouts. You can bring them back.
Yeah, but
if they make it.
Because
my sheep are tough.
The second another enemy sees them, they become theirs.
That's why you gotta keep them moving.
They're the worst scouts ever. They have no defense and they instantly defect. It's like being a Frenchman.
I was gonna say that.
Oh, man.
Oh, France.
Only thing they're good at is baking bread and losing wars.
Do they make good bread? I don't know.
Heck yeah.
Baguettes.
French
Just because
muffins?
it sounds French doesn't mean it's good.
French muffins?
I don't.
Biscotti?
That's not a thing.
Scones?
What are French scones? Are British.
Oh, I'm thinking English muffins. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not going to get it.
I didn't think that French muffins existed.
I'm sure they have muffins in France.
I'm sure they're called muffins.
Then why did the English call their muffins English muffins? Surely,
because it's different. Your logic's flawed.
But surely France has a muffin that's unique to France.
It's called a
Great
croissant.
American logic.
Oh, croissant. How about bruschetta? That sounds French.
That's Italian.
Damn it. Just as bad, though.
Oh, you really are American.
Heck yeah. History. Winner writes history. That's what it comes down to. So I was talking about this to... I don't remember who I was talking to it about, but somebody finally convinced me to give Mega Man X a chance again. Last show I was dogging it pretty hard. And not that I don't like it, I just don't like it as much as I like the original series. And I was flipping through my Vita and noticed that I had Mega Man X Maverick Hunter downloaded, which was the PSP remake of Mega Man X. So decided, you know what, I'm gonna give it a go and just see what it's like. Mega Man on a handheld console as it is pretty uncomfortable. Just the whole shit's moving around when you're getting really into it. But that game's not terrible. It's wildly different than Mega Man X, and it actually kind of intrigued me to go back and play the X series, because I feel like that's where Mega Man made the transition into a little bit more of a mature storyline. How this storyline is conveyed in the game is beyond me, but if you go and read about it, there's this whole huge backstory, and I'm assuming that the comic series eventually delves into that, but the storyline for X is actually pretty slick. I don't know if do you guys even care about Mega Man lore?
Yeah, that's the most important lore possible.
It's no League of Legends lore, but
it's no Mass Effect lore, let me tell you.
Oh, I know, where all your decisions matter, especially the final one. But apparently, from what I've gathered from it, I don't remember storyline from when I was a kid. So from what I gathered from this playthrough is that this game takes place 100 years after the original Mega Man series, and Dr. Light at the end of the original series was concerned with creating a robot who could live and grow and think and have free will, kind of like a real human, which was his purpose for Rock/Mega Man in the first series. And he wanted to ensure that his new robot had those, so he set it on a 100-year programming process in order to ensure that those values got instilled and those capabilities. And anyway, shit happened. X became entombed, and then this new scientist came and found him. I think his name was Kane. And then this whole shit happened where Kane tried to replicate him, and they got all these brand new Reploids out there. And then the Reploids started to defect and turn into Mavericks. So therefore, X is now the Maverick Hunter to go out and take out the rogue robots. So it's the same concept, a little bit more of a storyline to it. It's kind of where they introduce Zero and Vile and all that other fun stuff. But the gameplay itself, I was surprised with how hooked I got on it. In one sitting, I got through all 8 bosses. But I started thinking about it when you and I were playing the Super Nintendo version, Kev. We were actually struggling just to get through the first couple bosses, weren't we?
Well, that's mostly because we only did 2 attempts. Because we only played that game for like 10 minutes. And I apparently went to the wrong boss the first time, so...
Well, and that's what's strange, because I was thinking about the order that we went through it, and we went through with the Penguin, or what we determined should have been the right order, and I think is for the Super Nintendo, is Chill Penguin, then Flame Mammoth, then Storm Eagle, Strike Octopus, and whoever the other ones are. They doesn't really matter. But what I noticed about this one is that, at least I think it's vastly easier. There was only 1, maybe 2 bosses where I actually had to use one of the other boss's weapons. Other than that, I was just able to use the basic Mega Buster.
So this game was like really, really easy, is what you're saying.
If you go through and you get the body parts, the body armor parts immediately, especially your powered up Mega Blaster, yeah, this game's super easy. At least Maverick Hunter X. I don't remember the Super Nintendo version being this easy, but then again, I haven't played it in probably 15 years. So I want to go back and compare it, but it was fun. They moved all the body parts, because I remember the Super Nintendo one, the dash is in Chill Penguin, and I was going through that level first hoping to get it, and I didn't find it, so I looked, and apparently they've moved them all to different locations, and they're all really easy to get. They're like in the first 10 seconds of each level, so you can go through, get all the parts, die, and then just storm through the game real easy. But I'm going to rescind. I like it. It's a lot of fun. I was playing it on the Vita. It looks good. Like I said, Mega Man doesn't really lend itself too terribly well to a portable system.
So did you make it all the way to Wily, or did you just make it to the castle?
I got done with the first 8 bosses, and then I decided I should probably try to beat Chapter 5 and 6 of Mother 3, since I knew that's what you guys were. And Jess was so overeager to beat it last week that, like, you know what? I should probably get this going here. But
Rude.
I don't know. Kev, do you have much experience with Mega Man X, or just basically from what we've played?
I played it when it first came out, but I know I beat it way back then. But I mean,
do you remember it being really easy, or am I just that good?
I remember doing, like, getting some of the secret stuff was really hard because you had to time the jumps, and the air dash is really, really weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember the bosses themselves not being all that tricky.
Yeah, their patterns are really easy to pick apart. And the one thing that I was complaining about actually worked in my favor, and again, it's still a complaint, is that being able to climb up the walls pretty much gives you invulnerability from 6 out of the 8 bosses. You can just tuck yourself up in the corner and they'll never hit you.
Yeah.
And to me, that's kind of cheap. I don't like that. But again, it's a tactic. So if that's how you got to get through it. I don't remember anything of X2 and beyond that. So I don't think I've ever played those games, mainly because X2 is hard to find, but X3 was a lot harder to find. Because I know sealed copies of that go for like $500-600.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's stupidly expensive. So, Mega Man, that's what else I played. So, Kev, you told me to save it for the show when I asked you about Mother 3.
Yes.
Did you play it?
Let me tell you about Mother 3.
Okay.
I started to play Chapter 4 yesterday because I was behind a little bit, so I was going to play 4 or 5.
Okay.
And I was unable to finish due to unavoidable situations.
Like what?
Well, the first is that game is really, really, really fucking bad.
Okay. Thank you. I was actually going to bring that up. Okay, continue. I'm not going to interrupt.
Okay, like, Chapter 1, you have an uninteresting character. Chapter 2, you have an uninteresting character. Chapter 3, you're basically handheld through the entire chapter.
Of repeating
where you're
chapter
so
2.
underpowered. No, Chapter 3.
Yeah, but you're
Well,
repeating
when was
chapter 2.
3?
That's where you
Is
go.
Chapter 3 the monkey?
Doing it from a different perspective, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean that the story elements in this game are cool, but the gameplay is so bad that I just can't force my way through it. Like, let me tell you about why I hated Chapter 4 and why I had to stop playing.
Chapter 4, remind me again, was...
Chapter 4 was with Lucas, or Klaus, or whatever the hell his name is, the little crybaby kid.
Lucas.
Doing what? Oh, yeah,
He
okay.
gets molested.
As far as I could tell, he was looking for his father, who was still going.
You go to the titty club.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So I
his
was
dad we're looking for?
Sorry?
His dad? I thought we were looking for the other guy.
You're looking for Duster.
Yes. Okay.
No, I got that you were looking for your dad.
No, you're looking for Duster because Duster disappeared and he has joined a rock band at the titty club and you need to go and talk to him.
Yeah, but it also says that you're supposed to go find your dad who's in the forest visiting the grave.
Oh, that's like early
That's
on.
like the first 10 seconds of the chapter.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
bad.
and that is how far I made it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you at that point you have 2 people in your party. You have Boney and Lucas.
Yes.
So I was wandering around town and doing the whole backstory thing, and all that was really cool. And this is where I found out that Americans are evil and that the pig people are actually Americans.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Didn't we determine they were Nazis a couple shows ago?
I thought they were Nazis before I knew about the whole Happy Box thing.
It's just TVs.
But, yeah.
Says the American.
What's wrong with Okay.
Nothing. Exactly. Thank you. But I get into the combat parts of Chapter 4, and the first thing I notice is both people in my party are vanilla fighters.
Oh, yeah.
All they do is attack, and that's it. So that already is one huge strike against this game.
Chapter 4 is terrible.
Hand-holding, and now they give me the same person twice in my party. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, game. The next thing I'm doing is going through fighting, and I see these little flaily arm guys. One of them's guarding this treasure chest. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to fight him and see if I can get this treasure chest. No, these guys kill you in one shot.
Yep.
So that's fun. So I restart, walk all the way back, make it to one more screen over, and there's these like green slug-looking things with 4 legs, and they're like really slow. So I sneak up behind one of them, get a preemptive strike against him, get 2 good hits in. He turns around, one-shots me again. Oh, that's fun. I'm not playing this game anymore.
So that's where you quit.
That is where I quit. That is where I threw the controller across the room in disgust, and I'm like, game is terrible. I'm not playing it anymore.
I can relate. Chapter 4 was terrible. It was that was a chore to get through because of the reasons that you stated. You had 2 crap characters that they could not interact with each other any less. So I was kind of feeling the same way as you. And even towards the beginning of Chapter 5, I'm thinking, maybe this game sucks. And I managed to plow through it. And Chapter 5 is actually pretty cool because you get 4 characters in your party, and they all start to work together.
They do.
If you can slodge through the shittiness of Chapter 4, Chapter 5 is actually pretty cool. There's some fun stuff that you get to do with Kumatora and Lucas with their psi powers, and then Duster with his thief abilities, and then Boney pretty much acts as your item healer / damage absorber.
Pretty much.
Useless frontline guy.
It does get better, but Chapter 4 was the attic one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah. And it got to the point where the first couple chapters, I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. I'm going to level grind for a little bit. And now it's just, nope. If I can avoid you, I'm going to avoid you. And if I can fight you, I'll try. But I discovered the importance of this in this chapter of actually using your psi abilities for like offense down and defense down, and it makes everything mountains easier.
And buying clothing and items and stuff.
But that means you have to do level grinding to be able to afford that crap.
And that's another thing I didn't like either, is Chapter 4 introduces the whole dragon points system, and then none of the fights give you dragon points.
Yeah, they do.
They start you with...
You have to go to the frog and withdraw them.
It automatically deposits them?
Automatically. Yeah. It's a stupid feature. It's like, all right, hey, you just got 1,000 DP, but it doesn't show you in your inventory, so you have to wait till you get to the next frog.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, none of the rewards for fighting basic mobs was DP.
It doesn't say it.
But it does.
It never says this is how much.
That's even stupider.
Yeah.
That is even stupider.
Yeah. So, stupidness aside, Chapter 5 revolves around the whole party. Lucas, Kumatora, Duster, and Boney. And Chapter 4 ended with Duster saying, I'm not sure if I'm still Duster, but I remember hiding this. What was the significance of that egg?
I have no idea. So
he had an egg that was that a Drago egg?
I don't even know. It was a fancy egg.
He hid an egg somewhere in a Clayman down some hole. So you start the chapter by trying to find this egg, and once you find the egg, Duster goes, "Oh my God, it's me! I'm Duster!" And everything comes back around. I'm trying to remember what happened. Like, I pounded through this so quick. Yeah.
And then you get to the Clayman, and then the Clayman gets put into a hole.
That's right.
Like a pit.
Something
with a garbage. You end up chasing a garbage truck.
That's right, because you learn a little bit more about the anatomic or the automaton Clayman, where there. And this is what was kind of. I thought it was confusing, because if you talk to people within the Clayman building facility, they say whenever a Clayman becomes defective, he will automatically put himself in the trash to be recycled. However, we don't ever build anything that's defective. Like, they said that we've never had this happen, and it never will happen because it won't happen, but this is what happens if it does happen.
Huh.
Did you pick up on that or no?
No, I didn't talk to anyone. I was really mad that I blew up that pork and beans thing by charging it too much, apparently.
Oh, your one little ride that you got?
Yep, really pissed.
So after you defeat the Clayman, somebody spots you and says, "Hey, why aren't you dressed up?" And they mistake you for the commander of the pig army, which I still have no freaking clue what the pig army is. And they dress you.
And how dumb are they?
What, Kev?
I said the pig army are the Americans.
Well, there's a room I'll get to later that's supposed to give it away, but I didn't pick up on it. Maybe I'm too stupid. But they dress you up in the pig army outfits, and then you get thrown in a pork and bean, and you drive away, and your hovercraft slips on banana peels, which makes no sense, and crashes, and then a huge beefeater guy comes out and says, hey, I can tell that you're not the commander. You're a human and a dog. And you get into a really
because
difficult
you smell
fight.
like a human and a dog.
Yeah, you get into a difficult fight with him. You drive him off. You steal his pork and bean. And you can drive around. And there's a couple actually pretty cool side quests to do here. Did you guys... the only reason I did this because I read about it is at the very beginning of the chapter. If you backtrack all the way to Osho Castle, you can get one of Duster's most powerful weapons.
Yeah, I did that because I read about it.
Okay. So I did that, and then when you're driving around in that second pork and bean, you can stop at the construction site and talk to that mouse. And the mouse will say, oh my god, I lost all 7 of my babies, and you got to drive around and find them, and then come back and they give you a shield or something.
I didn't do that when I met the mouse, and then she was like, oh, my babies. And then I was like, oh,
your babies can rot for all I care.
I met one, and then I thought I would meet them like as I went, not drive around a bunch of other areas. So that just didn't happen. Yeah. Sorry, mouse.
And then from there, how often did you, or how many times did you try to recharge that robot that wanted you to charge him for 15 seconds?
I charged him for 10 seconds, and he gave me one coin.
If you hit between 12 and 14, you get 50 DP, and then if you hit it 15 exactly, you get 100, and you can do that as many times as you want.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was just the one.
No, if you go into the little rundown shack, you can actually go back out, and he'll be out there again. You can do it over. So I just put a stopwatch on my computer, and then as I hit OK, I started the stopwatch, and then clicked it at exactly 15. So, made some money. It probably took just as much time as if you were to actually go and fight, because fighting would net you 400 or 500, and you could just use PK writing and wipe out the whole enemy team.
Huh.
But I actually did a little bit of level grinding because I wanted to learn some more psi abilities, and it's really frustrating when you have 2 characters who are dead, and the other 2 are super low on health with no healing items, and then suddenly somebody gets feverish, and you can't run anywhere.
Yeah.
So you just sit there and walk in a circle till they're not feverish anymore.
That's what I did. Let's just keep walking.
Yeah.
And walking.
So then you get to the Thunder Tower. No idea what the Thunder Tower is. You can see it from the Titty Club. And you're like, all right, we'll eventually go there. And you get to the Thunder Tower, and apparently this is where the pigmen are doing something with generating electricity. And I'm assuming it has to go back to...
That's the machine that they used to put the lightning in all the towns. Like, remember when there were all those lightning storms at the beginning?
Oh, okay. Oh,
That's, I think, what that does.
So this whole game is basically an allegory to the Industrial Revolution. And the evil... Okay, well, no, the Industrial Revolution wasn't just America.
America.
Well, no, it's not really the Industrial Revolution. It's the way I see it is the town, those little dragons are representing like the kids' imaginations and everything. And then the happy boxes come in and take all that stuff away. So the people who control the happy boxes, which are the pigmen, Americans, they bring the happy boxes and turn all the dinosaurs and everything into animals, or robots, I mean, so that they can absorb them into the TV.
That's interesting because I'd say about 3/4 of the way through chapter 5, you come across a kid's room, and
yes,
apparently that room is supposed to finally reveal who. They said if you've played Earthbound, this room will reveal who's in charge of the pigmen. And I haven't played Earthbound, so I guess I missed out on that, but I'm assuming Kev's kind of touching on that with the whole kid's imagination, so this could be some sort of Inception thing going on where the world that you're playing in is this kid's imagination world, and he's losing his ability.
He's resisting the fact that everyone's telling him to just use the happy box and sit in his house.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what Lucas is. Lucas is this adventurer, this hero that's trying to save the world from the destructive forces of the Happy Box. Did you?
I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I didn't. I sat and I got my ass kicked by that maid that was walking around because I tried to steal the yo-yo.
Yes! But it was so convenient that there was that spa right in that room.
Oh, yeah. But
So convenient.
after that, you go upstairs, you fight the generator, who is a huge asshole. I mean, he had his cycles of turns that if you weren't careful, and I only had enough money to buy 2 raincoats, so every time he went through his electric discharge, he almost killed 2 of my characters. So then you have 4 turns of him being completely incapacitated, 2 of which I had to spend rebuilding my character's health, so it just took forever to actually beat that guy.
And that's when you could, the only time that you could use physical attacks, because if not, he would physical attack you back.
It wasn't much, but it was still enough to be annoying. And the only thing that saved me is that I had a bunch of those water guns.
I had raincoats for everyone.
Oh, that would have been nice.
I went back and I just kept doing the nuts or whatever those creatures were.
Oh, yeah.
On the stairway, and they were like easy peasy.
Those loose screws.
Yeah, it was just one shot. Okay, moving on to the next one. So I just went up and down, and then I think I had enough for everyone to have a raincoat, except for Boney, because Boney can't have a raincoat.
Yeah, Boney sucks.
Shut up! I like Boney.
So at the end, you beat the generator. You go up onto the roof, and suddenly Facade is back. I thought we were done with him.
We're never done with him.
So you're up on top of the Thunder Tower, and this spacecraft comes down, and it's got this little boy in it with like a metal helmet on, and they're kind of really vague about who that is.
I didn't even notice that. It's totally Dickbag Brother.
Klaus?
Yes.
But then he's in cahoots with Facade, and
My money's on Klaus.
I want to know why Facade is so damn obsessed with bananas. Because he gets on top of the Thunder Tower, and he eats like 3 bananas in the process. And then, so he's like, you know what? All right, blow this place up. Let's kill these guys. It would have been nice to get to know you better. And then the thing starts to shake, and he slips on the banana peel and falls to his death. And then everybody jumps on the rope swing from little robot RoboCop guy, and they end up falling into a sunflower field where Chapter 6 starts. And apparently, Chapter 6 is only supposed to be about 90 seconds long, but I've put in 45 minutes of holding left, and am still in the sunflower
that's
field.
Not right. It's
What?
But the thing with the sunflower field too, like it's bullshit that I don't know if they're all dead at this point, because how are they supposed to survive a fall from an airplane?
This is a video game, Jess.
Okay, so then Facade is probably totally still alive.
No, he totally got impaled on something.
That's a lie. You don't know that. He's totally alive. That's my prediction. He's alive, and Dickbag Brother is the guy that was in the ship.
Yeah, so Kev, Chapter 6 is supposed to be one of the most impactful, emotional chapters in the game, despite it being so short, because from what I read, because I was so irritated that I couldn't play it, is that Lucas, you play as Lucas, you're in the sunflower field, and you start walking to the left. You come across Boney, and he's okay, and then you guys continue walking left, and you meet Hanawa, or a flashback of his mother, and she kind of drifts off over a cliff, and then you jump off the cliff to get her, and that's where the chapter ends, right?
Yeah, they talk, and I don't really remember what they said.
But I was walking through that damn sunflower field for over half an hour, and I'm still not anywhere. And I'm going to the left, which is the way everybody says you're supposed to go.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about whether I'm going to finish the game, but I started out and I'm like, this game's really, really good. And then not so much anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of over it.
I'm going to finish it because we started it. But
I don't know. I feel like the last chapter might be just like 10 hours long, and you're just gonna get screwed.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
But I feel like the boss-esque fights have been insane lately.
They've been tough. They've been real tough.
Just insane, and so often.
Mm-hmm.
There's been like mini bosses which have just been like destroying me. Yeah, I'm kind of.
We'll see.
I think my ass handed to me a lot.
I think the next show that we do on it will be our last show. So if we finish it by then, because I think Kev's right. I'm
over it.
I'm not as enamored with it as I once was. I'd much rather spend more time on a really, really good RPG.
Yeah, then force yourself to get through this one just because of all the things you've heard about it.
Yeah.
I'm also afraid that the story is just not going to make sense at all. Or it could be one of those that everyone's like, oh my God, this is the best story ever. And it just doesn't make sense at all.
There's no way it'll live up to the
like,
hype.
Everyone's like, oh my God, like just the connections with society, and there's none. Like, you know, when people pretend that they know what they're talking about, maybe that's what's happening here.
That's quite possible. I don't know. I'm done with it. I'll finish it, but I'm done with it. Now it's just become a chore.
I do really want to see what happens with the monkey.
I feel like that's all stuff that we could just go read about, though, and just save ourselves the hassle.
I feel like the monkey's never going to actually happen.
Like a plot summary or something, and then just move on. You should just play it. Are you playing it on your handheld, Eric?
Yeah.
You should only ever play it when you're taking a crap. Never any other moment. Just so that game knows how you feel about it.
There'll have to be some long craps, or I'll just have to crap a lot. I better stock up on Metamucil.
Or prunes.
Not a prune fan.
I don't think anyone is.
Did you guys play anything else this week?
I didn't really even play anything this week because I got everything done last week. So that was pretty awesome. I was ahead of the game.
Look at you.
Gold stars.
I know it's...
Your reward was to not play any more games.
Yeah, I had marking.
I know it's not a retro game, but it's a retro game at heart. And I talked a little bit about it with... I think I talked about it with Aaron. But the new Zelda Link Between Worlds game is...
Oh, yeah, you guys... Keep going.
It's what?
Oh, I was going to say you guys talked about it apparently on the Thanksgiving show, too.
Okay, yeah. That game is single-handedly one of the best handheld games I've ever played, if not the best handheld game ever.
Huh.
I don't get too excited about handheld games, but that game has completely brought me back to handheld gaming. And if you played... My opinion might be skewed because I played a lot of Link to the Past when I was a kid, so I've got a lot of fond memories of it. And those who haven't played it may not enjoy Link Between Worlds as much, but if you are a huge fan of Link to the Past and played it as a kid, this game will be the pinnacle of your Zelda experience, of like old school top-down Zelda experience. I plowed through that game in less than a week. It is so friggin' good. It's long. It's not super difficult, but it's phenomenal. The music is incredible. The gameplay is smooth. It kind of goes back to the old style of game where you just go through whatever dungeon you want in whatever order. The final boss is difficult enough to like, yeah, you know, this is I earned this victory, but it's so good. It's phenomenal. And I just want to say that I finished it.
Gold star for you.
I know.
I really want to play it.
Well, it's got... The one saving grace is that it's got a feature where once you beat the game, you can play on hero mode, and other Zelda games have had this where they double the damage you take, but this one quadruples the damage you take. So for the first, I would say 2-3 hours of the game, any single enemy could kill you in one hit.
Man, that sounds like just the kind of game that Eric loves.
Oh, yeah. So I was reading threads about people who were talking about how to make this game even more difficult, and they said go through and do a no rentals, meaning that you don't rent any of the weapons. Do no rentals, green tunic, and basic master sword, 3 hearts. So you don't collect any of the heart pieces.
That sucks.
Yeah. There's no way. It's so freaking hard. I felt like I went through that game pretty well, but I don't think I could do it. I mean, I think you'd have to rent some items because some dungeons require you to have certain things, but no purchasing items, I guess. Because when you die, your weapons are gone.
That's a little cray-cray.
It's crazy. So that's it for me this week. So you guys didn't play anything else?
No.
You guys want to do some emails?
Showa.
If you want to send us an email, factorysealed@manatank.com, we will try to read them. We don't have a whole lot of emails this week. I feel like people are slacking. Get us some emails. Good ones. Actually, just send us an email. We'll read it. I don't care.
Let's go, Nick Stevens.
Yeah. We had one from him last show, so he can take a break. I haven't seen one from George Vosper in a while.
No.
I haven't seen one from Michael Kelso in a while.
God damn it, Michael Kelso.
It's been a month since our last Michael Kelso email.
Jesus.
We had like 15 in a row and now nothing.
But what
and
is...
Jeff Woods. Jeff Hardwoods.
Aaron Stucker?
Aaron Stalker. I am so amazed with him for that.
That's crazy. That's dedication. We do have a new email from a new person. His name is Ivan. And he sent an email titled Test to make sure that the email actually went through. He writes, "Hello, Factory Sealed crew. How are you? We're great. Thanks for asking. My name is Ivan, and I've been listening to your show. It took me a while to catch up with all your episodes, but I'm finally caught up. Anyways, the way I found your podcast is that a while ago I was playing Final Fantasy VII and I thought to myself, gee, I wonder if anyone talks about Final Fantasy and games before that. Well, long story short, I found you guys and glad I did. I do a lot of driving for my job, and when I listen to your podcast, it brings me back to my young years playing games you talk about. All right, now the cast I like, Aaron, Jess, and Eric, and I'll tell you why. Sorry, Kev, you got left out.
Fuck.
My favorite has to be Aaron because I'm interested to hear what happens to him in his life. My favorite is when he dumped his bike. Eric, you're great because your teaching experience and uses of big words in the show. Jess, it was a smart idea to... What are you laughing at?
Me?
Yes.
Because I'm just concerned.
About what?
Getting judged.
Oh, okay. You ready for this?
Judgmentalness happening. I'm ready.
I feel like you were laughing at my use of big words.
Too.
Okay. Now for Jess, it was a smart idea to bring a female into the mix, but it's not just that why she is awesome. She's awesome because she is into Canada and talking about.
That's right. I'm a proud Canadian female.
I like...
Are you sure that's not pronounced a boot?
Pretty sure it's a boot, but he had a U in there, so I'm going to go with the about. I like to hear stories like the tour bus one and how she was a goth. Great stuff. He's got 3 game suggestions to talk about: Rambo for the NES, Burger Time for the NES, and Hey You Pikachu for the N64.
Done.
Which ones?
Pikachu.
Let's do Pikachu for next show. I kind of want to play. I've never played Hey You Pikachu. Ivan, since you're a new writer and I like your style, we're going to play Hey You Pikachu next week.
I really wanted to play this, but I never got a chance to.
Okay. Is that the picture one?
No, it's you talk to Pikachu.
How are you going to do that with a totally legitimate copy?
We're going to try to figure it out.
Anyways, he says, good times. Thanks for all the podcast. Your fan, Ivan.
We like you, Ivan.
I like you too, Ivan. We will play your game suggestion.
Was there a question or just a suggestion?
Pretty much he said that I'm awesome. That's all that really matters.
Oh, okay. And then he forgot that I exist.
Yeah, Ivan, you could totally redeem yourself next week by writing in and telling us why you like Kevin.
I don't even care.
If you
I don't even
like,
want to know.
The other Canadian.
or we'll just put it out to everybody. Let's have everybody write in why they like Kevin. Will that make you feel better?
No.
Okay. Now you know how I felt the time that guy wrote the email into the Metatank podcast basically telling me I was a piece of shit.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Oh, that was a great show. We've got our last email. Our only other email comes from Mark Haddock. Hello to the fine people at Factory Sealed Podcast. As always, great show. I have a quick question for you. What would you consider to be the top 10 must-have NES games? I ask you, since you read my last email and hearing how passionate you were for my loss, that I have decided to rebuild my collection. I've posted some pics already, but now I'm excited to ramp it up a little bit. Again, thank you for reading out my mail. Also, thank you to Mr. Calso for sending me a message through Twitter. Keep up the awesome work. Can't wait till the next show.
Where are the pictures?
He's mainly sent them to me, I guess. This is the guy who got his collection stolen. So, I unfortunately can't relate because my collection had long since been removed from my mother's house. So I'm pretty sure if that would have been there, they would have stolen all of it. So I'm thankful I didn't have to experience what he did. But top 10 must NES games. Well, the first 6 are going to go to Mega Man 1 through 6.
Yeah, I think you should only be allowed to pick one Mega Man game.
2, Mega Man 2.
All right, Mega Man 2.
The original Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers.
That's not...
That is not for the original NES.
Are you on a retro podcast or what?
I thought we were talking... I stopped paying
Metroid?
attention. I am almost done this Mega Man hat.
Okay. So hold on, let's start over. Mega Man 2. Would you agree on that, Kev?
I agree.
I'm paying attention now.
Final Fantasy, the original.
Yep. I said Metroid.
Metroid. How about Castlevania?
Which one?
3.
I'll agree with Castlevania 3.
Okay.
Super Mario 3.
Mario 3, absolutely.
Yeah, Mario 3, obviously.
I'll probably catch flack for this, but I'm not going to say the original Mario is a must-have.
With Duck Hunt, though?
You're going to be super hard-pressed to find a TV that can support Duck Hunt these days.
No, it's easy to find. It's just you don't actually want to have it.
Truth.
That's true.
I'm so retarded a lot of times.
The original Legend of Zelda, absolutely.
Yeah.
Steers far clear of Link 2.
What are we at? We at 5?
We're at 6.
Wayne Gretzky's hockey.
Shut up.
So
Are
much
you writing
fun.
this down? I feel like we're not at 6.
Okay. Mega Man 2, Final Fantasy,
Yeah.
Castlevania, Metroid,
Mario 3.
Mario 3. That's 5.
What?
Yeah, that's 5.
Five.
Okay.
I
Super
feel like
Mario.
we should...
I mean, Dr. Mario.
I'm just flipping through and just thinking, like, is it really worth owning, like Contra or the Turtles games?
I don't know. I would say something like...
Dragon Warrior, if you really like RPGs. I'd throw that in as like an 11th.
I would say Dragon Warrior 3 is really good.
I'll give you Dragon Warrior 3.
I haven't beat it, but Star Tropics.
Yeah, I was thinking that, and I was afraid to say it for being made fun of. Star Tropics is fucking cool. So that's 7.
Yeah.
Little Mermaid.
How about Ninja Gaiden?
I wasn't a fan.
No?
I want to say it was cool. I don't know if I'd put it in top 10 though.
How
Of
about
course, we're kind of struggling to find others.
How about Kid Icarus? Kid Icarus is pretty friggin' sweet. Is it top 10 though?
don't know. I don't know if I've ever played Kid Icarus.
I'm going to give Jess Duck Hunt. I feel like Duck Hunt.
It's you have to.
Okay, so that brings us to
Yeah,
8.
it's pretty much like a must-have on the list, even if you have it to never play it.
Let's say the Duck Hunt Mario 1 combo pack.
Yes.
Okay, that's one game. So we need, what, 2 more?
Yeah. I know a lot of people are going to say DuckTales, but fuck that game.
Okay. Tell us what you really think.
Seriously, fuck DuckTales. Like, that's the NES equivalent of Goof Troop. We could... Pac-Man?
No way. I don't agree with Pac-Man.
Matt just sent me a message saying Pac-Man.
Oh, we are all retarded.
What?
Tetris.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Tetris is 9 and
Dr.
10.
Mario!
Dr.
not
Mario,
Tetris.
then. Let's round it out with Tetris and Dr. Mario.
Done.
Yeah, I can accept both of those.
Boom.
I hate Tetris.
Factory sealed top 10 NES list. I don't remember any of it.
But Mega Man 2 wasn't actually number 1.
No.
That happened.
Let's see. If there's anyone in... No. I don't think... Aladdin? That was a Super Nintendo game, Matt.
God damn it, get your shit together.
Oh shit, dude.
Well, at least he didn't say Mario 64 or Nintendo 64 game.
I zoned out and then thought, let's do N64 games now. Go! Super Smash Brothers! Bam!
I feel like any other generation beyond that is going to be much more difficult to whittle down to the top 10, because there's a lot of shitty games on the NES. Like, a ton.
Yeah. There's a lot of shitty games on every console. Let's not single out the NES here.
We could talk about the Wii. There's a lot of good games on that.
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers!
All right, that's going to do it for emails. If you have anything you want to ask us or tell us, factorysealed@manatank.com. I don't have anything else for you guys this week.
That's disappointing.
I know. I wish I did. We don't have Aaron to take us out with a quote.
I really want to get into cross stitching, just so I can cross stitch something about feetsies. It's gonna be amazing.
What were you gonna say, Kev? We should what?
I lost all train of thought because I totally thought Jess was going to say cross-dressing.
Yeah, I heard cross and yeah, dressing.
Sorry, that would be fun.
Just business suits all the time.
I could grow some mad facial hair.
Oh, I'm going to have nightmares now.
Don't worry, I'm going to
Maybe
take you on in a beard competition.
You are Canadian, and I think just by nature, all Canadians grow wicked beards.
Truth.
The girls alike.
Jesus Christ.
Matt's having a grand old time.
Seriously.
He's being a dick. All right, Jess, where can we find you on Twitter?
At Jessam Clarkson.
Kev?
Dinner Dangles.
You can follow me at Honest Pizza. That's going to do it for the show. We will be back next week with Hey You Pikachu, and I feel like we need something else.
No, we don't. All Pikachu all the time.
Matt, since you are listening so intently in the chat, what should we play next week?
Oh, shit.
I was going to say Borderlands 2.
Yeah, he is. Let's wait for the stream to catch up. Give it to us, Matt, or we're gonna come on.
He won't now because you're telling him what to say.
I'm not telling him what to say. I just want to hear what he's gonna say himself. That's not an Panzer Dragoon. Okay, I was still stuck on NES games. I'll play Panzer Dragoon, but no, I won't because that's super hard to find. We'll find something else to play.
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh, shit. Let's do it.
I feel like we did it already, and I said it sucked.
How do you not? We'll save that later. You and I are going to have some words next show. All right. That's going to do it for the show. Until next time, we will see you all next week.
Dear God.